Welcome. Jenny, that cozy pup on your couch. Oh my gosh, so sweet. Welcome everybody. Hey Ashley, good to see you. Shannon's here. Hey Wendy. Hey Sarita. Hey Kirsten. Hey Heidi and Evelyn. Cheyenne's here. Awesome. Bex, good to see you. Kathy, great to see you. Marche, awesome. Hey Sarah. Awesome. Okay, looks like a few more people are still connecting, but welcome to the Encounters call. If you know that you have a question and you'd like to be coached, let us know in the chat. If you are not currently in weeks 5 and 6 of the course, no problem. You're so welcome here. We're just going to be coaching and walking through encounters like they do in weeks 5 and 6. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're doing. So glad you're with us. I would love to begin today by reading a poem I wrote over you or to you, if that's all right. It's kind of the space I'm being invited into, and I'm real soft about it. So I want to share it with the thought of maybe there's a few of you that can connect to it. So art is pretty vulnerable, so don't feel like if you don't connect to it, oh no, or anything like that. And I'm gonna do that too, that if nobody connects to it, that's okay. I still get to show up and share. But I'd love to read this over you and then kind of begin with a prayer after that. So go ahead and settle in. Again, check your body. Are you actually comfortable the way you're sitting? And if you're not, feel free to adjust that. I am totally wrapped up in a blanket down here today on my legs. And that feels really nice and gentle for me. So if you want to go ahead and close your eyes, you can take a couple of deep breaths. And just enjoy that we all get to be here together. So, okay, this is what I wrote, and yeah, okay. I have a problem saying need. It's like I'm not supposed to. An ugly 4-letter word, an embarrassment to reveal, like that weird bump on my skin that just appeared one day and I keep ignoring. When I am hungry, the need to eat is too closely tied to memories of past overindulgence, and I conclude I should not need food. When I am sad, the need for comfort is too closely tied to memories of past weakness, and I resolve I should not need comfort. And then I hear, I'm fine, I just want to get over this so I can get on with life. That voice, the exasperated one, it's inside me again. My mom's voice, but not directed at me. She is against her own self. That voice furthers the lonely lie in us both, that to need is to waste time, to slow down unnecessarily. For what might happen if we ease into the grass and listen? Mama, I am tired of not needing. I am easing into the grass. You can come if you want. Need, come and mother me. God, I thank you for a space to be soft and to be gentle. I thank you for need and dependence on you. I thank you for what you like to share with us in the moments when we feel soft and exposed. I thank you for your presence with us here today. I thank you that you like me. And I pray that each woman on this call would feel that same pleasure from you to their own hearts that you like us, God. That you're not just in an obligatory relationship with us because you made us and now you have to be committed, but that you actually see yourself in a win-win relationship with us. Thank you that we get to be kids today. We get to be curious and explore. We get to share and be soft. I thank you for receptivity. I thank you for learning. And I ask for laughter today too, between all of us, that we would share in the beauty and the lightheartedness of your love. Thank you, God. And with your eyes still closed, you guys, if you want to put your hand on your heart. And since everybody's muted, I just want to give a few moments for you to whisper over your heart something gentle, something soft, something you need to hear from yourself today. I'm just going to be quiet for a few moments so you can give yourself what you're needing. Just take this time and take this space to love on yourself. And when you're ready, go ahead and take another really deep breath. Take your time with it. And you can open your eyes when you're ready to. Oh, Bex, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Haley. Appreciate it, you guys. Okay, awesome. I'm grateful to share it in a group like this and that you guys could connect to it. So we're going to go ahead and start with some coaching. And looks like Ashley, you are first. So if you want to unmute yourself, love to hear from you.
Hi, is that me, Ashley?
Yes, Ashley.
There's several Ashleys in this program, so.
Yeah, that's you.
Hi, so I'm really kind of in a panic this morning. Yesterday I just got on board with doing an eating disorder treatment program.
Right.
And so I have a meeting. I'll probably be able to start either later this week or next week. And so that was a really big step. And I still have, but a lot of fear and resistance about that. A lot of fear of letting go of my eating disorder that's been with me for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of myself for making that choice. But I've had a lot to process in the last couple of days. And this morning, my mind is just racing with all the logistics that need to happen, like more childcare. I need to write like charts for the children's chores, and so my helpers know what to have them do. And I need to ask for some help bringing meals, cooking. I need to figure out what to do with my baby. Like, do I have the babysitter put her to bed, or can I get breaks? I don't know if like how long the breaks will be in the program, like what I do with her, and when am I going to get my personal time, like my time with the Lord, and because it starts at 8 in the morning and I'm not usually quite ready for the day by then. And I'm just none of those are really, really big deals, but they're just all together. And then like the house cleaning and the grocery shopping. So it's 6 hours a day, the program from 8 to 2. And that sounds manageable, but I know, and also a sleep, because I still need a nap almost every day. And I don't know that I'm gonna be able to get a nap, like jumping, like at 2 o'clock. I don't know I'm gonna be able to sleep after 6 hours of classes
Yeah.
and stuff. And my 4-year-old keeps waking up at night. I think she's feeling neglected, and she's in my bed every single night. And then sometimes I go sleep on the couch. And sometimes my 1-year-old wakes up, and it's just things are not going well in the sleep department. And I don't know how I'm gonna handle this. And so I'm just thinking of all the reasons that it's overwhelming. And I tried to talk to God about it this morning. I know I need to do some planning, but it's hard for me to distinguish between planning and worrying. And I don't know, like, should I try to plan today and get some of these items taken care of, or do I just need to take the day off and go do something fun and come back to it tomorrow? I don't know. But I hurt my 4-year-old this morning. My kids think that when I'm here, even if I'm in my room, that I'm available. Like, they'll come knock on the door and they'll want stuff. And it's like, I have to tell them I can't be interrupted right now. But my 4-year-old, she's just bawling because I kind of said, hey, you have to go out right now. And I feel like I have to leave the house to be really uninterrupted. And, but I just don't know how it's going to go. I don't know how my kids are going to be taken care of, and I'm just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I didn't overeat this morning, which is amazing, but I just want to crawl into bed and stay there.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear
And
you.
I'm gonna miss you guys. I'm still gonna try to catch a few coaching calls like in the afternoon or do a little bit of homework, but I know I'm not gonna be able to do as much as I've been doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh gosh. So,
yeah.
so amazing you've taken this step for yourself. Makes a lot of sense that the details of what needs to happen would feel really overwhelming right now. That and not really knowing what the program is going to feel like when you're in
Yeah.
it. You said you start it tomorrow, is that right?
I don't know when I'm starting yet. No,
Oh,
probably not tomorrow.
okay, okay. So when you mentioned a moment ago, I just want to get in bed, I
Yeah.
was like, yes. To everything in me was like, mm-hmm. Like, yeah. So like to me, like there's a lot of comfort there. There's rest there. So I'm wondering if we could kind of go after that in an encounter, if you're open to it, and just creating that space of rest inside of you. What do you think about that? Does that intrigue you, or are you like, no, I need something else?
I don't know. I'm willing to try it. I feel like I can't let myself rest right now because there's so much I have to do.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
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 yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Would it be helpful just to be heard? Are there more thoughts and feelings you're having that you would just like to get out? Would that be more helpful?
Probably. I think I'm still feeling really ashamed that I have to do this program and this treatment. I'm feeling really defeated. Like, I'm glad I finally chose it, and I'm feeling upset with myself that I didn't choose it earlier, that I waited so long and tried so many other things trying to make it work out. And even last summer, I started looking into the Emily program in August last year. And then we decided to get some help from our church and to switch to an insurance company that would cover it. So we waited for like 4 months for the insurance because somehow they took a really long time. And meanwhile, I decided to start doing all this emotional work on my own without a counselor. And I started digging into my past and doing all the stuff that I wasn't ready for. Like I could handle it, but I couldn't. And yesterday on the Zoom call with Emily program, the therapist I was talking to said, yeah, you need to get to a place where you're stable enough with everyday life before you start digging into all of the past pain. And that's kind of the opposite from what I was trying to do. I was trying to dig it up and get it out of the way first. But in the meantime, I was just falling to pieces,
Mhm.
And the counselor that I had last year was urging me to get help with my eating first, and I didn't listen. I mean, I wasn't actively being rebellious about it, but I was trying to get help and I was waiting on the insurance. And so I thought there was nothing else I could do. And I feel like this is all my fault that I'm stuck here because I should have gotten help earlier, and I should have gotten it like 10 years ago, and and I also feel like um, there was something else I was going to say. I can't remember what it was. Um, I think I'm just having a hard time seeing God in it. I keep trying to talk to God, and usually I'm an introvert. I like to be alone. I like to talk to God on my own. But since I started Alive and Free, I haven't been able to connect with God very well by myself. And I don't know why. I seem to be drawn toward the coaching calls and stuff instead because I feel like I don't know what to say to God, and I feel like he's still really distant, which is strange for me because I usually do connect with him well. And I don't know if I'm leaning too heavily on other people and I just need to go and be by myself and talk to God, or if I really do need the coaching. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't been able to make myself sit down and bring these fears to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like you're doing a lot of work to fix things in your life. And um and I'm not even saying that's bad, but I can see maybe why your heart is like not feeling super receptive, or even that God is a safe place, because there's so much going on externally. Um, a
Yeah,
lot of
I
details,
think
a lot of, go ahead.
I think I'm also feeling really ashamed that I'm not more organized, because like if my mom were doing this, she'd have charts all over the place and she'd have delegated work to everyone and the kids would know exactly what to do, and there wouldn't be this sense of chaos. And I feel like I need to try to do it like her, but she never had an eating disorder.
Hmm.
She never lost control in any time in her life that I know of.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think I still feel a lot of pressure to be like her.
Yeah. Would you close your eyes? Would you be willing to do that? Yeah. Put your hand on your heart. Yeah. Ashley's heart, I see you. You're working so hard. And I can hear that you want to do the right thing and you want to heal. And you want peace and harmony in your life experiences. I hear that. Yeah. Ashley, would you just go ahead and picture yourself as a little girl? Let me know when you can see her, okay?
Okay.
Okay. How old is she?
I'm not sure. Probably about 8.
Okay. What if there is an 8-year-old inside of you who's feeling all this chaos and who's feeling like she has to figure it out before she moves on? How would you comfort that 8-year-old?
Um, I think I'd probably find something she likes to do, go do it with her. And then maybe I talk to her about a plan so we can start to do something about the problem, but only when she feels ready.
So I want you to ask her what she'd like to be doing right now.
She said, go swimming.
Will you take her swimming?
Yeah.
Just let that scene unfold for a little bit and let me know what's happening.
I'm remembering all the times I went swimming growing up in Southern California, and we would splash, and I learned how to swim all the strokes and dive, and um, walking home in the hot sun and drying off, and
So good.
my hair was all green from the pool.
So good. So I want you just to picture grown-up you walking hand in hand with 8-year-old you in the hot sun. You're drying off. I just want you to speak to her. Little Ashley, we can do this. Little Ashley will figure this out together.
Mm,
Little Ashley, I know you feel alone, but I'm right here. I know you feel disappointed and scared, but I'm not going to leave you. Is she responding to you?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does it look like for the two of you to sit down and make a plan for just what needs to get done today?
I think probably just pick one item from the to-do list and talk about it and do whatever it is.
Yeah. Does that feel accessible to you?
I think so.
Does it feel possible to talk to little Ashley like we've been doing here as you literally sit down and figure out what you're going to do with today?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
So I want to invite you to take special note of your body right now. Take a deep breath. If you've watched one of Melanie's body talks, you know she described watching your body fill up with water.
mhm.
So go ahead and imagine that. Start with your toes and just watch the water fill up your body all the way to the top of your head. Cooling you and refreshing you and giving you a clean start. And when you're ready, you can take a deep breath and open your eyes. How you doing?
Okay. A little better.
A little bit better? Okay. Would you be willing to go spend a few minutes with yourself to figure out what that one thing is to do today?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
Okay. Do you have a friend you could call that could come sit with you while you come up with a list?
I thought about that, but we're all getting over a flu, and I don't think she's gonna want to be be with us right now.
Could you do it on Zoom?
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe.
Something to think about as you comfort yourself and allow yourself to be comforted in the midst of needing to get something done.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing with us. I'm so cheering you on. And I'm glad that you still get to connect in with our group a bit while you're in this other program. I'm glad that we can still hear updates from you.
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Keep us posted, Ashley.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right, guys. It looks like iPad 712-3532 is next. I think there's a couple of iPads logged in. So if that's your number, it's you. I'm scanning here. If you're on the iPad 712, it's your turn. Okay, she's coming.
Hi, I think it might be me.
Yes, Gladys. Yes.
Yes, I don't know how to make it say my name. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
When I
okay.
come on, it has my name, but it's my work computer,
Okay,
so I can't mess with it too much.
That's good. I love it.
I just had a question. I so when I started this program, I tried to me and my husband are separated. I think I've said that before. Been separated for like 4 or 5 months, maybe. So I had told him, kind of warned him, like I'm trying to make changes, and so that he doesn't or kind of understands why maybe I'm responding differently or different priorities, just different things I'm trying to set boundaries for, because in our marriage, I just had no boundaries and did kind of whatever he wanted, or just to make peace. But so I've just gone through so many emotions through this separation, from being so angry I can't even stand the sight of him, and literally almost makes me sick to talk to him, just because of the hurt and things he's done and doing, to okay, maybe we can still be friends because we have a 2-year-old together. And I feel like I try to reach out and I still try to have that family somewhat unit to show my baby that everything's okay and there's peace. Um, but it seems like every time I don't know how to do in between because I don't want to be angry and I don't want his choices to affect me, even though it just gives no regard to what he's doing and how it might affect me, which is fine in a way because we are separated and I get that. Um, but then when I try to be kind and invite him to do things and involve him in what our son is doing, then it just seems like his answers always reflect, oh, I'm hanging out with us other female and all these things. And it just rips me at my core and it hurts me. So it's like, I don't know how to, in general, kind of set boundaries of, I want to be angry and just push him away because it's safer. And then I just want to focus on me and my healing, but I know that's not actually healing.
Mm.
So I don't know if you have any suggestions. My mind totally gets it. Like I understand that he is hurting, so he clings to other females to make himself feel better. So he doesn't have to look at himself. Like I intellectually understand everything he's doing. And I just know that he's running and that breaks my heart for him because that's means he's not healing either. But I guess my heart doesn't know how to get that message.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. This is really tender. Thanks for bringing it here. The thing that stood out to me when you were sharing was I don't want to be angry.
Mhm.
And my question back to you is why not?
I think I choose anger because it's better, easier than pain. And when I'm angry at him, I feel like that affects our son because he'll if he has our son, we'll do FaceTime at nighttime, and I feel like my son would pick up on my anger because like if he does like FaceTime and I see him first, I'm like, oh. And then it's hard for me to hurry and do that shift when he shows my son. I'm like, okay, woo, hold on, it's my baby. I have to do new emotions in half a second. So I feel like it affects my son, and I feel like I am trying really hard to show him my well, soon to be ex-husband. We're gonna divorce. We're getting ready to relocate through the military, so I have to just hold on until we're actually moved. But I want to try to be a good example through this. And when I'm angry, I swear. And I feel like I do stupid, petty things like tell him he's worthless or like, why are you so selfish? And I just respond reactive. And that's not how I want to be a Christian. I don't want to be walked on, and I want to set boundaries and limits because that's also what Christ would have me do. But when I'm just so angry, I just like, screw you. Like I can't, like I can't take his manipulation and the lying and just the selfishness.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I'm okay to be angry. Like right now when I'm by myself, I'm okay for that, but I can't, I just have to choose an emotion, I guess, like, because I can't be angry now necessarily because like, oh, last night I didn't sleep at all because I was so angry and my head was just spinning. So it just affects my overall.
Yeah. I hear you. I so hear you, and I honor that you want to give your son safety in which to grow up in. Yeah, I hear that. Is there a way that you could have both? That you could release anger?
I think so. I don't know what happened when I first started the program. I felt so inspired, and I was like, yeah, okay, this is like, I'm healing and it's great. And then the last like 3 weeks or something, I'm just so like my just heavy, and I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And I think if I exercised and maybe went for a run or something, that's how I used to do my emotions. But I'm so tired. It's like because I have my baby 4 out of the 5 days in the week, and I work full time, and I'm trying to start a business. I'm just so like I don't know. I feel like I don't have that energy and the time. I'm just collapse at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I've tried very hard to talk to my husband, and I've told him, like, this is why I'm hurting. Your actions that are hurting me, please don't let me know about these. I've tried very hard to just systematically stop the pain as well, but it doesn't work because he's very selfish, and I just it's who he is, and that's not going to change. So I have to work around me, not him.
Yeah.
So the two things I've tried is, try to talk with him and have him understand what I need and what I want. And if he could respect boundaries, that's not working. And then trying to maybe exercise and get it out that way. I just don't have the energy for it. And then, like I said, I try to process it and really go through it. And the only thing that's happening is that my own mind understands it.
Would you be open to doing an encounter right now, just to kind of explore what your heart's needing underneath this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And close your eyes. Take a couple of breaths at your own pace. Ronnie's heart, thanks for bringing yourself here. Thanks for leaning in. You're not doing anything wrong. And I'm so sorry that this part of healing feels scary because the inspiration doesn't feel as much in the front as it was when you began. But you're doing a really good job. Really good job. I'd love for you to picture yourself as a little girl and let me know when you see her.
So I always get the same image because I've done this a couple of times with you, and it's always the same. Always the same age and the same face staring up at me. Anyway, she's 4.
Yeah. 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 What's she feeling, that 4-year-old?
I think at 4 is when my mom took me to my dad's house and never came back. So,
Yeah.
I think she feels confused.
Yeah.
And lost.
Yeah.
And alone, but
Yeah.
she just wants to play and feel normal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel for that little girl. You feel for her?
Yeah.
What do you feel for her?
I just want to show her that it's gonna be okay, and that God has always been there. He already knew that she was gonna leave.
So those are some thoughts that you shared with me. Those are good thoughts. And there's going to be a time to share those with her. And I'm curious what you feel about her and what you feel about her situation.
Um, it's just hard because I know it's like it's the abandonment made me realize that God is very real and that He is ultimately my parent. And I want to tell that little girl that's going to be okay. But when I was 11, my father committed suicide.
Mhm.
And then my brother committed suicide, and my uncle committed suicide, and my other mom left. And I just
Mhm.
wanted to tell her it's going to be okay. And ultimately, I know that it is.
Mhm.
I'm just scared to tell her that because there's just so much.
Mhm.
And I'm scared for her to have to feel all those things.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me. She just reach out and hold her. Will she let herself be held?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say some things that you can repeat over her, but I want you to hold the steering wheel here, okay? So if there's anything that doesn't sound authentic to you, you don't have to say it. You can change the words if you want. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Just picture holding her. We're gonna talk to her like a 4-year-old because she's 4. She doesn't need to understand everything right now. She really needs comfort. Please repeat after me. Little Ronnie, I see you.
Little Ronnie, I see you.
I'm here with you,
I'm here with you.
and I'm not leaving.
And I'm not leaving.
You can cry as much as you want.
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 I'm so sorry, little Ronnie.
I'm so sorry, little Ronnie.
I'm so sorry I haven't understood what you needed.
I'm so sorry I haven't understood what you needed.
I want to learn how to comfort you.
I want to learn how to comfort you.
I want you to feel safe.
I want you to feel safe.
Go ahead and ask her, little Ronnie, what would help you feel safe right now?
Little Ronnie, what would help you make me feel safe right now? She wants to see Jesus.
Yeah, I love that. Can Jesus come into this scene?
Yeah.
That's okay with you?
Yeah.
Go ahead and just look around the room and see where he is.
We're actually outside in my grandma's yard. And he's just knelt down beside adult me. He's holding her hand.
Mm. What happened next?
I just see him smiling. But he's so peaceful. And he's got his arm around the adult me.
Mm.
He said, it's going to be okay. And we're going to get through it.
Mm. I almost see the three of you with all your heads together, almost like a huddle.
Yeah.
So in this space where you're head to head with Jesus, in this part of your heart that really needs love, I want you to check in with yourself and ask yourself what would help me right now? What would feel supportive and loving to me right now? Just let me know the first things that pop up for you.
I just feel like he's saying the little girl needs him and that I need him and it's going to be okay. But we should go have fun.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I was sensing that too, so it's interesting that you got that. So let's ask little Ronnie what something fun would look like. What would that thing be?
I think she wants to swing.
Mm-hmm. And where does she want to swing? Because this is your imagination, so it doesn't just have to be on the playground. Where would she actually like to swing?
I think she wants to stay on the swings at my grandma's house because that's where my dad tied the rope on the swing. My earthly father tied the rope there on that swing. So I think she just remembers when she used to be able to spend time with him there too.
Yeah. Yeah. I want you to go ahead and watch you and Jesus pushing little Ronnie on the swing.
I feel like it's Jesus is pushing the little me, and I'm like sitting on the grass just watching. And I think she just, little me feels just so free.
Mm.
She's just kicking her legs and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus is doing the work.
Jesus is doing the work, he said.
Yeah.
Mm. Just going to give you a moment to absorb this scene, okay? Take in every color, every scent, every sound. Mhm.
I don't know why, but all I can like picture is these white socks with lace on them that I used to love.
That's awesome. I want you to look in Jesus's eyes one more time, okay? Mhm. Mhm.
Okay.
When you're ready, take a deep breath. Go ahead and take 2 more. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. You can step into that again anytime you need to.
It's interesting because when I first pictured it, he was behind me and he was like pushing my back. And I think all I could see was those white socks, which I don't really know what that means, but because I'll have to explore that one. But, and then when you said look into his eyes, I think my image changed to where he was in the front. And I just felt like he was like, it's okay. Like, we got this. It's okay. Just stay like focused on not just behind you, and I'm not in your past. I have only just been in your past, but I'm in your future too.
Mhm.
And I'm ahead of you, and I go before you.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I get to see that different angle.
Yeah, yeah. Amazing. I love that for you. You know, today, I don't know what your plans are today, but one way you could engage this would to be to go find a swing set that you can swing on. You don't have to push your kid, but you get on your own time.
It's so funny because I live in Hawaii and there's like no swing sets here. It's the weirdest thing, except this one that I have to go see patients. So I got to get my face together. But I am going to go see this one patient, and on her way to her house today is a random swing set. One of only very few that I found on the island.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah.
There was a carefreeness that little Ronnie connected to in swinging. And when we're grown-ups, carefreeness sounds like being irresponsible. But I think there's something about a child's carefreeness that has nothing to do with irresponsibility and more to do with I'm going to be taken care of, so I don't have to think ahead, you know? So whether you swing for 30 seconds or 10 minutes or whatever, just see what your heart connects to in that moment. It doesn't have to be with anything I said, but just give your body the movement to connect you back to this encounter you had today and see what comes up for you.
All right. It's a date.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you so much.
being so open-hearted. You're so welcome. Take care, okay?
You too. Thanks.
Michaela, can you say that again about carelessness? I think what I said was, as an adult, a lot of times we think of being carefree, or we equate it with being careless or being irresponsible, but really it has more to do with knowing that we're being provided for. There's a safety in, oh, Dad's got that, so I can just be here on the swing or what have you. And in fact, the Message translation of Matthew 6:33. Let me double check that real quick to make sure. But it's about being carefree inside the care of God. So yeah, I think it starts in Matthew 6:33, which is a really sweet way to read that passage. So yeah, Michaela, that's what's going on. Okay, let's see. Marche, you are next. I'm just gonna scan the comments here again. Yay, swings. That's awesome. Yes, that's for anybody too. Anybody who wants to swing can enjoy that. So Marche, feel free to unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's great to see you. What's on your heart?
So I had a question. So I'm moving into week 5, and I actually going through the homework of week 4. I've already started to encounter myself, and so I had this encounter. So I was having these feelings of rejection from my boyfriend over not spending what seemingly seemed like not wanting to spend time with me over New Year's, but I know that wasn't true. He had his own family stuff to do, and so I was really trying to work through these emotions and be okay with being alone, because I tend to make myself over busy so I don't have to be alone with myself. So and as I was cycling through these feelings, I was talking to my heart and asking it the questions, and essentially came to this understanding that I wanted someone to want to give me their time. And it took me to when I was 7 and having to relearn how to ride a bike. And my dad wasn't thrilled with that. And so I encountered myself on it. And now when I think about that memory, it's it's not there. It's the encountered memory is there. And even when I try to think about the actual memory, it's it immediately switches to the encountered memory. And I just want to make sure I'm not crazy.
Should we vote? Should we vote? Is that it is. Thanks for bringing the laughter. Yep, Haley.
But
good. So good. Did you have another thought? Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah. I just want to make sure that is what's supposed to be happening. Because I've encountered myself on some other things too, and I've been writing it down and things but I just didn't know if is that normal?
Well, first, I do want to take a poll if you have your camera on, or you can let us know in the comments. Have you experienced that before? Anybody experienced that before, where it's like the memory literally got replaced, renewed, cleansed, redeemed? Just let us know. You can. Okay, Evelyn says yes. People can raise your hands in the screen if you want. Katie, Amelia. So this is real, and
Good.
I'll share with you my thoughts on it. I mean, this is what we're literally doing when we take time with ourselves to revisit memories, is we're asking God for his perspective, and we're giving ourselves what we didn't get in that moment. Now,
Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, there's some memories that for me continue to come up, and there's still emotion attached to it. And
Mhm.
so that is one thing that can happen as well. It can also just be your brain rewired and was ready to take in that new memory. That can happen. It also can happen where you still have the memory, but there's no sting to it. There's no like edge to it. You know, you're just like, okay, that happened. That happened. But there's no like trace, you know, shame or guilt or fear with it. So I think that's all those things are real and can happen. So let me know what you're thinking about that.
Yeah, no, I was I agree with everything you're saying, and I was sort of thinking that that is the ideal outcome that we want to have. Um, so I just wanted to make sure that that was okay.
Yeah.
I guess I guess the other thing too is like, so as I've been encountering myself, I've noticed that in all my encounters, I always show up as the parent. Like when it's time to encounter myself, like I like it's always me and Jesus, and we're always there with little me as a parental unit.
Mhm.
And most of the time, he doesn't say anything to me. He just looks at me.
Mhm.
And in almost sort of encouraging me to talk to little me because I know what to say already. And it's just like very, is that weird?
So let's just say that everything with encounters is weird. Okay. So let's just start there. But I mean, I hear. I want to ask it back to you with your gut feeling, with what you're experiencing. Is something wrong, or is it not?
Wait, what are you asking me? Sorry, I got sidetracked.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is like, is
Yeah.
this okay? Am I doing this right? Is this
Yeah.
normal? Is it not okay? And I want to ask it back to you. Going with your own gut feeling and your own reaction and the fruit of this,
Yeah.
you answer that question.
Yes, it feels right and good. And it feels like I've spent it. It kind of feels like it kind of feels like Jesus is like, okay, young Jedi, you've become the master. Like, here you go, you can do it. Like, it almost feels like he's been sort of training me for the last number of years to sort of know how to do this now in this uh in this season of my life. um But I also find it very interesting that I feel like the mother in these encounters, because I had 2 foster kids for 13 months and I struggled daily trying to feel motherly, to feel nurturing, and to I actually had the opportunity to adopt them, and I didn't because I felt like I couldn't give them. I felt like I couldn't give them the love that they needed from a mom and a dad, even though I could give them everything else, anything they needed, anything they wanted. But I felt like I needed them to have 2 parents that would love them. And don't get me wrong, it's not that I didn't love them, I love them so much. But I didn't feel like I would be a good enough parent to parent them.
Yeah. It's so tender. This is so tender and valid and worthwhile. So thank you for giving a voice to it. And thanks for being willing to share this with us. I would love to hear, because you connected these 2 events. You connected, hang on, I'm actually mothering myself. It's like Jesus has been teaching me how to parent myself. And then you've connected it with this experience you had fostering in the natural and feeling like you didn't have what it took. So I want to know how these connect in your mind and in your heart for you. Are you still feeling inadequacy with parenting yourself, or you're noticing you've grown?
I think I I think I've grown in a like I know that I made the right decision for that period of time because I wanted them to have 2 parents.
Mm-hmm.
And it may have come from a place where I felt inadequate, but I know that I was making the best parental decision I could for all 3 of us.
Yeah.
And and I've never wanted to biologically have my own kids until I met the person that I'm with now.
Mm-hmm.
And which has only been in the last 3 months that that's sort of switched in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 35 years old, so like I've I've had the mentality of I'm not having bio kids since I was in middle school. Like I knew then I wanted to adopt, but then I was in the midst of fostering and adopting, and I was like, this is not working. I don't understand what's not happening.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening. And then, now I'm in this space where I'm parenting myself and it seems so easy. Like, why couldn't I? And I'm not saying I was mean to them or anything like that. Like, I just didn't feel like I knew how to, I knew how to love them but I didn't know how to love them in actions because they're so small. Like I'm much better with teenagers, you know, but like because they were so young, I didn't know how to be nurturing.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I'm off on a tangent. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I think it's beautiful how it's unfolded here. I love it. I feel like this is really rich. This is really rich, and you may want to spend some more time journaling and praying through this, because I feel like it's what it sounds like to me is you're letting go of um, things you thought you weren't, or things you thought you didn't have, and you're
Mhm.
discovering capacities to love yourself, and how that feels like it wants to spill over onto children or onto others.
Mhm.
And I think that's really lovely. And it would be really cool to um, make a marker of this by writing about it, you know, creating art around it, or however you process, sharing with friends, sharing in our group, like really sticking with this because it sounds really important.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The question in my heart, which sounds really that it sounds inappropriate for a conversation. The question is there a problem here? And I don't mean that in like a snarky way. I mean like, wow, look at you. You're unfolding, you're blossoming, and it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Do
you're
you
right.
feel that way about it? Do you see
Yeah.
that?
No, yeah, I definitely see that. I guess what the hang up I have is I appreciate all of this unfolding and blossoming and, you know, self-actualizing. Um, but what does it mean if like what is all of this for? And I hate to even say it this way, but like what is all of this for if I'm still realizing that even though I've done all of this work over the last 10 years, that at the core, I'm still afraid that I'm going to end up alone.
Mm. Would you put your hand on your heart and close your eyes? Yeah. You're so safe here. You're so safe.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm not sorry. You're okay. You are okay. So safe for you right here. We are honored by your tears and how you feel safe to share them with us. Holy Spirit, I ask that you bring to Marche's mind the first memory when this fear creeped in that she was going to end up alone.
I can't see it, but all I can hear are the words.
Yeah.
Just my dad saying, "You're a mistake."
And Marche, when you hear that, do you hear that in a certain place in your body?
No, it's like I'm in a closet. It's like, or not a closet, it's like being in the dark, like a black hole, and all I can hear and see is the word mistake.
Yeah.
And once in a while, I see him standing there telling me, "You're a mistake. I never wanted you. You ruined my life."
Mm. Marche, is it possible for you to picture me stepping into that dark place? And I'm just gonna pat your dad on the back and I'm gonna lead him out. Does that feel like something you can see?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna take dad in another room for his own healing. He gets to go on that journey, okay?
Okay.
Is there a member of the Trinity that feels safest to you?
Jesus.
Can Jesus come in this space?
Yes.
Well, that's good because he's already there. I want you to look around. I want you to look around that dark space. And I want you to,
It's not dark anymore.
oh, it's not.
As soon as you took my dad out, it was grass. And I was outside. And then when you said invite Jesus in, I found myself in the woods where I always find Jesus when I need him, sitting on a boulder.
Do you feel like you can get close to him?
Yeah.
I want you to go up to him. It's like he's been waiting for you, huh?
Yeah. He
Mm.
knows our place. Like, he knows I know where to find it.
Mm. Is there anything you want to ask him or tell him? And you don't even have to. This can be an exchange without words. You can just look in each other's eyes. What are you needing?
I need to feel loved, and
Mm.
I need to feel wanted, and I need to feel like someone wants to give me their time, and that I'm not going to be a burden to them, or they don't have time for me.
That's right.
I need to feel like I matter.
Yeah.
I need to feel like I'm not a mistake.
Yeah. Will you let him hold you? Yeah. And while he holds you, I just hear him saying, "Come here, sweet girl. I've always known you. Let me absorb all of this for you." And in that embrace, he's just taking all of this into his own body.
I feel it. I can feel it. I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to carry it around.
I know, sweet girl. Let him have it. He can handle it. He can handle the anger too. Do you know that?
Yes.
I want you to ask Jesus, Jesus, what's the opposite of a mistake?
A miraculous miracle.
Look into his eyes while he says that to you again. And I want you to repeat it back to him, declaring yourself to be that.
He's also saying deliberately placed. So I guess I'm a miraculous miracle that was deliberately placed. Placed here for a reason and a purpose, to be loved and cherished.
Mm. Say it again.
What?
Say it again.
A miraculous miracle that was deliberately placed here to be loved and cherished. I I'm a
Yeah.
I'm a miraculous miracle that was deliberately placed here to be loved and cherished.
Yeah. So Marche's heart, I give you permission to start looking for evidence of Marche being a miracle, of being on purpose, and of being here to be cherished and loved and received and highly favored and esteemed and enjoyed. May your spirit be delighted in by the people around you, and may you feel God's delight of you. Just going to give you a moment to bask in this, okay? We're not
Okay.
in a rush. Emmanuel is God with us, not God out in front tapping his foot because we're not further along yet. With us in it. So Marche's heart, you come back to this encounter as much as you need. Deepen it, expand it, take it in all over again. Let yourself soak it up. How you doing on the inside?
I feel calm and at peace. When I got on, I was very anxious.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your heart. It was a gift to so many, and there's a ton of love in the chat for you when you get a chance to look at it.
Okay.
Gift to you and to us all. So I thank you for bringing your vulnerability.
Thank you for giving me the space.
Absolutely. I loved participating. So fun to get to know Jesus through other people's encounters. It stirs
Yeah.
up all of us. He's like that for them. Probably means he'd be like that to me too. It's powerful. Thanks for bringing some laughter too.
Yeah. He's my one-eye blue, one-eye green, long-haired hippie in the woods. With a dash of Yoda.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. Just bask in that today. Even all your other commitments and whatever is on your list for today, that can get done. But foremost, you just get to absorb this today.
Thank you.
Keep us posted, okay?
I will.
Ooh. Yeah, so if you are newer to the course, I just want to remind you that everything that people walk through and encounters, it's literally as if a woman is coming with her vulnerability on a silver platter and asking each of you individually, would you like some? Would you like some? Would you like some? This breakthrough, these encounters, all of this, you get to participate with and take for your own heart. Sometimes things will stand out to you more than others. That's okay. Listen to that and take it for your own heart. When someone is leading an encounter with someone else, you can close your eyes and walk yourself through it too as well. So just get used to such an abundance of love around you that you can reach out and take whatever you need at any moment, okay? So the space of mutual sharing in a group is so potent and so powerful because we're all showing up to meet each other in love instead of judgment. And most of our lives we have been met with judgment, and that's what makes the breakthrough so potent in here and so able to get on everybody, is because we're showing up in love. Okay, so just to reiterate that in case you are new to the program, come and take all that you want. Okay, Sarita. Sarita? Yes, Sarita, you are next, girl.
Okay, so
I can barely hear you, and I really want to hear you.
hold on. Sorry. Okay. All right. Better? Okay, cool. I'm on coaching now, so you gotta go out of here. Okay? No, I'm on right now. I told you I'd be on. Okay. Sorry. All right. So I posted about, I don't know, 10 minutes before we came on, maybe 5 minutes, about the trust that we talked about last week. So I don't know if you got a chance to listen yet, but I left my notes at home. So I grabbed them real quick and I just was like, oh, I forgot about this part. But so telling the truth, it was like I realized that I don't tell the truth about how I feel because I don't think people can handle what I'm going to say. And I sometimes don't trust how I will respond emotionally if they don't understand me or if they disagree with me. And then just like, when I've seen or heard people do or say certain things, I decide they are not safe to approach in a one-on-one or one-on-two, but I can in an open area. And then, but all that to say, one of the things that I've really been trying to, sorry. One of the things I've been really just wanting to ask the Lord about, and I feel like I started to have an encounter about it, was about what happened with my husband, because of how he passed away. And so I just wrote out some things like I didn't know the signs of overdose. And like my inner critic says, well, you should have known because you knew he was an addict and you should have, researched it so that you would know. And then like I think at the time I was detached from him because of what he was going through. I was trying to not be so controlling because it was like my whole life was consumed by what was happening with him, keeping him safe, making sure things were good. So I was so judgmental of him and didn't love him as well as I could have. It was like my heart wanted to, but then like intellectually, mentally, it was like, but you can't give him this because if you do, then he's going to think that it's okay what he's doing. So and this is kind of like after the fact, like I'm thinking of those things. And like one of the biggest things for me that I think I just need to really allow the Lord to heal me in is when like I knew he had taken something and so did my stepson. We were both here. And usually he would just, go lay down and pass out and then he'd wake up the next day and we'd be like, what the heck, dude? But I was the one who kind of was like, you need to go lay down because the kids were in the front room. And then he was snoring, which he usually snored when he slept anyway. But I had a thought like I should check his breathing. But because he was snoring, it was like, well, why would I do that? He's snoring. He's obviously breathing. But so like in that moment, because I was even like in the room while he was sleeping and like I was doing some other things because I was getting ready to leave to go on a trip and I was going to be back the next day. But so I think in that moment, like, Lord, did I not hear you? Was that the Holy Spirit and I didn't obey? And, so kind of like that whole thing of just like, could I have done something? But at the same time, like being so familiar with what was happening, like I didn't do anything. So, but I think the hardest part right now is because like my mother-in-law and one of my sister-in-laws, they're really like my mother-in-law, like within a week after the funeral was like, well, I think you let him die. And then she told my stepson that I'll always be a murderer in her eyes. And so I think it's almost like I started to believe that because it's like, well, I was there and if I would have just did this or did that, but at the same time, like no, like I know that, you know, God's timing is God's timing. But at the same time, it's like they didn't know what was going on. And I don't know, it's just like I called my mother-in-law for Christmas so that my boys could say hi to their grandma. And it was just like I wouldn't even show my face on the phone on the duo just so that like it didn't make her feel uncomfortable because of the way I knew she felt about me. But after that, I was just so ticked off at myself. I'm like, why the heck did you do that? Like honestly, like F her. If she feels that way about me, she don't need to see my kids. And I was still trying, I think that was part of my people pleasing coming out where it's like, but I still want them to know. And like I have some of the sister-in-laws, at least one, she kind of understand where I'm at. And because the same thing happened to her boyfriend. So she kind of understands. So she's not so, you know, she's like one that I can talk to, but it's almost like I don't want to shield my kids from all of the family, but there are certain people I'm just kind of like I'm not interested in having a relationship with you, and I don't want to try and make my kids have a relationship with you just because it's the quote unquote right thing to do. So I think I'm just kind of all of that, like, you know, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with all the other mothering stuff and the nurturing stuff. My husband was a very nurturing person. And I think that's because of all the pain that he had, which is why he was doing what he was doing. And so I find myself really pissed off like at my father-in-law because I'm like, you know what, you hurt him so much and you don't even acknowledge it. And then you want to turn around and say that I had something to do with this death and now all of a sudden you give a crap. But you never came to see him. You never reached out to him. And so like I've never said those things to him because I'm still trying to be like not a complete out of control witch and like completely just rip everybody apart because that's what I want to do. But I'm like, okay, kind of like that balance of being Christ to them and like showing them the love of God. But at the same time, where's that balance of truth and love? And yeah, so I'm just really like I don't want to like get over his death, but at the same time, it's just um like I want to move through it healthily. And I mean, he was a great provider. He was a great husband. And like those are things like I didn't always recognize because of his addiction, because I was so focused on that part of it. And so I think that's part of me that's like really mourning, like, man, I really had a like my sister would see it like a lot of other people saw, but I didn't. I'm like, why did I not see that? And not wanting to like carry that into a new relationship and be like, oh, well, I have to do it this way or be this way because, you know, and I don't need to say anything or I should say more. So I'm just like, I'm trying to stay focused and not swirl too much, but at the same time be real with like, okay, what was my head? What was my heart? And like, I know that I hadn't been listening to my heart, like with the giving of unconditional love. And that kind of goes back to like how my dad fathered us, even though he was a believer, there was still some unhealthy things. And so not wanting to follow in that, like I feel myself falling into that with my children. And I don't want to stay there. But I'm like fighting the whole pendulum swing right now. Like I know I am. And so it's like, okay, my kid's 8 and 5, and then my stepson is 22. So just kind of learning how to handle them. And I think I put in the chat, like not even trusting my mothering with my little girl because I'm so harsh. And it's like, I see it like with my 8-year-old, like, you know, he's going through this time now where he wants to do his own thing, but he still needs me. And then he gets angry. And I'm like, dude, you're angry because you don't want to listen. You still have to obey, but you can't just go off and do whatever you want. And don't be rebellious, you know? So I'm just like, but I'm like, how do I nurture him in a way that's loving, but still hold the line and, not get overly angry and then like really and then push him away. But, at the end of the day, he's all, I love you, mom. And, my 5-year-old, oh, you're beautiful. So it's like, I'm just, yeah. So that's kind of what's happening.
Thank you so much for being so willing to share with us. I've really loved that about you since you first joined the program, is you jumped in, you're just willing. You're like, I'm in it, I'm here, I'll share. It's really cool. It's really freeing for the people around you to connect with that vulnerability. There are a lot of people involved in what you're experiencing right now, and I would love to focus in on your heart and what you need. Does that sound okay to you?
Yeah, definitely.
I thought that was so insightful how you said, I'm resisting the pendulum swing. And soon after you said that, I was picking up on, how do I not do this? How do I not do that? How do I just keep it right from, how do I do this right? How do I do this well? And if we lift all of that off, like I just see it as this like web, like if we just take that off, we're not going to get rid of it. We're just going to set it to the side. Okay. Those are important questions and good things. So they're just going to sit on the floor while we talk here. If we take off the, I should have known better, I'm at fault, I can't pendulum swing, I can't let this happen, we take that off. What does your heart need to know in this moment?
I think that it's okay to love again. That I can still miss what I missed and still want to have that again from someone else.
Was that felt not okay to want that?
I think it's more because my husband, he had confessed to be a believer, and then he struggled a lot, and then towards the end he rejected a lot of like the Bible and Jesus, and he said a lot of stuff. He was listening to like a lot of atheists and things like that, and so I guess at the end it was kind of like, okay, so is he in heaven or not? Is he really a believer or not? But the boys saw a lot of the fighting and a lot of the arguing back and forth about faith and believing in God and the Bible being God's word. And so I think some of it is just, I want to make sure that I don't make a wrong choice again. I think yesterday's talk, we were kind of going through that. That was really hitting me because it's like, I know I chose him the second time because I love Jesus and I didn't want to dishonor the Lord because our divorce was not biblical. And so remarrying him for me was just like, I did what I know was the right thing to do. And then it was like the Lord released me when he died. That was a complete cut, a complete release. It wasn't like, and no judgment on people who've been divorced. I'm not saying that. For me personally, it was just like, okay, there's that clean slate again. You have a choice. But of course, I have children now, so I have to think about them. But even at the same time, eventually they're going to grow up and leave. Or maybe not, but they're going to grow up and be adults. And so I think some of it's just like, I don't want to choose wrong, and I don't want to be like having to nurture someone in a way that's like they're in an unhealthy place. Like I want to be healthy,
Mhm.
and I want to attract healthy.
Mhm.
And I guess somewhere inside of me, it's like, do we even deserve that? We had that and we jacked it up. So why should we get it again?
Mhm. Would you close your eyes? And just picture yourself as a little girl. Can you see her?
I see. Yeah.
I feel like she is asking a question. And coming up for you.
The two scenes that are flashing back in my head is the scene when my mom was leaving and the police were telling her she couldn't take us with, and they're pulling me back into the house and I'm freaking out. And the other picture I'm seeing is I'm sitting at the kitchen table, and I think it was my dad was telling me that he was going to leave, and this was like two separate events, but I was sitting there just crying. So it's like those are the two events that I'm like seeing my little girl in right now,
Yeah.
where she's just sad, distraught, crying, and unconsolable, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm hearing a question and I'm going to say it, but I want to hear honestly if it resonates or not. Okay.
Okay.
It's almost like your little girl is saying, if only I can figure out how to do this right, then I'll be safe. Yeah. Oh, girl. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like right now, like I said, my husband was a great provider. He worked, so we're getting Social Security, and it's a it's I don't have to go back to work. But if I get married, then I would lose my Social Security. My boys would continue to get theirs. But it's like in my head, I'm trying to figure out, okay, but I have to make sure I marry someone that can cover everything, and so I don't have to go back to work, and so I don't have to take care of them in like a financial way, like just wanting to be secure in the finances so that yeah.
Yeah. Which to me, it sounds like a little girl who's had to manage things from way too young an age. She had to figure out where she was going to get her nurturing, where she was going to get her provision. And she had to worry about that really, really early on in life.
Yeah, when my parents split up, my mom, she would always, like she always had the good Christmases and like gave us everything, and we didn't have to sign up for anything. She would spend money, and she would just give us all that we needed. She would take us school shopping, but we lived with my dad, and he struggled, and he didn't always have a high paying job, but he did teach us to pray and to trust God for things, and he did provide. I mean, but I remember like not having a car and our lights being shut off and not having a phone, having to go to the payphone, and sometimes not even having food in the house, and someone would bring a meal over. So it's like I lived both of those. So it's almost like I don't want to be where I was with him, but it's almost like it's like I can't have the greatest stuff, because if I do, then maybe I won't trust God as much.
Mm. I can't have the greatest stuff because then I won't trust God as much. What do you feel when you say that and when you hear that?
Um, like I'm trying to get what I don't know. Let me think about that. Well, there's a verse I think in Psalm, it says something like Lord, don't let me be poor so that I have to steal and disgrace you, but don't give me too many riches that I forget about you and act like I don't need you. So that was the verse that popped in my head. But so I think that's where that comes from. And I don't think it's a wrong feeling, but I think for me personally, I'm still like, I don't know, maybe like there must be that mentality of thinking like if I have too much, like I know I'm a giving person, so, but I don't know, I don't want to, I don't want to be running after riches. Like maybe the Lord can give them to me and I'll know they're from him, but if I like, it's almost like I'm always trying to get something, but then I stop myself because, oh, if I do that, I might get successful. I don't know. Someone said, my mom told me that one of my school counselors said I had a fear of success. So sometimes I maybe won't do all I know I can do because I'm afraid that I actually might succeed at it. I don't know. It's weird.
And the Holy Spirit, where did that first come into play? This fear of success, this fear of pride, this fear of not relying on you. Where did that come from, Holy Spirit?
Well, the one thought that just came was when I was in high school. I won state my junior year in track and hurdles, and then my mom got sick with lupus really bad, and so I didn't even go out for track my senior year because I was like, I already won state. I don't need to go defend my title. I'm gonna go get a job. So I got like 3 jobs and worked to try and like just to make money and support the family, but I really didn't have to do that. Like it wasn't something I needed to do. I just thought I did. And I don't know if that was like my way of avoiding defending my title in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think because my grades were really crappy, I was like, well, even if I did really good, I wouldn't be able to get into a good college because my grades suck. So why bother?
So Sarita, you can keep your eyes closed. I'm looking at the time. We've just got a few
Okay.
minutes left, just as a heads up. So
Okay.
here's what I'm feeling for you. That your mind has a lot of connections with these feelings, a lot of different memories, a lot of different thoughts about yourself and the world and the people around you. And right now, those are informing kind of the connections that you want to make between all these things, which is totally human, and there's no problem here. What I want to encourage you is actually in letting yourself feel the feelings.
Okay.
So making time, like, how does it sound to you to make a few minutes a day for feeling? And I know we feel all throughout the day, but to actually have a few moments in the morning, a few moments in the evening, just to feel, and that whatever comes up is allowable. Does that sound like something that's accessible to you?
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. I feel like there's an element there that could give you some clarity with how all the thoughts tie together. But I'm really impressed at how you process and how you articulate yourself. I think that's really, really profound, because when we can put an experience into words, it helps us process it. So it sounds really awesome what you're doing. But I think making a little bit of ritual space, rhythmic space for you to feel every day, and any kind of feeling. If it's joy and you don't know why you're joyful, just go with it.
Okay.
How does joy move throughout your body? What does joy cause you want to do with your body? Okay. What does anger feel like inside your body? What does sadness feel like inside your body? Just giving yourself kind of like a dictionary, we're giving your brain a dictionary of like, okay, this is what this feels like, so that when all the thoughts come up and I'm trying to connect them, I can have like some equity and some understanding built up as to what I'm actually feeling and what I actually need in the moment. Does that sound like something you want to engage with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I think every instance that you've mentioned today, every memory that's come up is important and worthy of some time and some care and some love. And it sounds like maybe right now a bunch of them come to the forefront, and you're like, it's like all these little kids asking for attention. You're like, hang on, I can just hold one of you at a time, right? But there's like all these clamoring for attention. So maybe just giving yourself a little space just to feel without having to understand, which is amazing that I'm even saying that, because Jenny was helping me process that very thing this morning. Just being able to be willing to sit with the emotion and not label it or not have to explain it right away or understand it. Okay.
Yeah.
So just for the sake of time, I'd love for you to imagine your little girl in a peaceful state. And I just want you to see your grown-up self entering that scene and just picking her up in a really big hug and swinging her around, kissing her on the cheek, and just letting her know how much you enjoy her. And then you can set her down and she can run off and play. When you're ready, you can take a deep breath. And you can open your eyes. Was there part of that was helpful for you?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Sharing. Yeah, great to see you on here. Be gentle with yourself today, okay?
I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we have come to the end of our time together. Thank you so much.
Could you give me like 2 minutes to read through the chat real quick? Sorry.
Thank you so much for everybody who shared. Thank you for those of you who could relate to certain women in the comments. Thanks for sharing the love in the comments. And I'm going to stay on just for another minute or two so that she can catch up on the chat, but you guys are free to go and would love to see you in the future if you want to hop on another one of these calls. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.